Welcome back to G-Ball Vision, everyone. Thank you for stopping in today. We have an exciting unboxing to dig into coming in from CJRB. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. I release new knife and EDC content every single day. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and ring the little bell. That helps push these videos out there so more people have a chance to check them out. Let everyone know what you're carrying in your pockets today down there in the comments. Love hearing from you and what you are carrying for the day. Thank you to CJRB for sending this in for all of us to take a look at. I'm excited about this one. This one is going to be released September 13th, and this is one to get really excited about here. Nice little pouch and cloth there, and then we have our knife in our cellophane baggie here. So what are we looking at? This is going to be the brand new Hectare Alt, and if you're not familiar, we'll bring it out here in a moment, but they released a Hectare drop point crossbar lock. It was CJRB's first crossbar lock, and I would say it was a successful design and knife. A little bit more access to the cutout would have been great, but I think for a first shot, I think they did a solid job. Well, they took some community feedback, went back to the drawing board, and turned the original Hectare into this right here. So instead of a drop point, we have more of a modified Wharncliffe blade, and instead of a cutout, they went to thumb studs. We have a laminate carbon fiber here. Now this is going to be on the more inexpensive side. I think $50 is what these are going to retail for on their website and Amazon. So don't forget that September 13th. These are going to be available. I will link this, and I'll try to get it as close as I can to the drop for these. And I'll have all that stuff linked down in the description of this video. We do have a PVD coating here on the blade, which is definitely going to help with corrosion resistance. The RPM 9, you know, I've heard so many different things, varying things. Most people, I would say, are ultimately satisfied with RPM 9. There's some people who don't think it has the best edge retention. There's some people who have said that it's a chippy steel or that it can be chippy. And I'm not doubting that stuff, but for like a $40, $50 knife, I think RPM 9 is a fine steel. Now, more than 50, more than 60, then I might start wanting something else, past like the $60 price point. But I think it's a solid steel. I have never had any issues with corrosion. I've never had any issues with the toughness of RPM 9. And the edge retention, for a $50 knife, we're not... People who compare something like this to, S90V or something like that, of course it's not going to have that kind of edge retention. But I think for a $50 knife, I think it has decent edge retention, and it's going to be very easy to get an edge back on the RPM 9. So, for $50, that's what everything has to be put into is perspective. And that's one thing I try to keep very clear on the channel is keeping perspective on things. It's not fair to compare $50 knives to $200 knives. It's not fair to compare S90V and 154 CM or, you name it. It's got to be, everything's got to be kept in a consideration and a certain perspective. We have their nice deep carry clip there. It's going to carry nice and deep, and I believe, going to be reversible there as well. We do have flow through construction, and we do have extremely solid springs here on this knife. Now, I think it almost is eerily resembling a pyrite Wharncliffe with a crossbar. And it just so happens that I have a pyrite Warney and I have the original Hectare. So this is the original Hectare right here, the knife that this transformed from. And this right here, the pyrite, is fairly reminiscent. Now, they do have different handles, but they are fairly similar in their blade design. But with that being said, this is something I've been waiting for a while, was a pyrite or Hectare with a crossbar lock. All the pyrites have been button locks, and they are fantastic. The new pyrite lights are absolutely incredibly well done. But, you know, over the last year or so, I have thought to myself many times, I would love to see a pyrite with a crossbar lock, or, you know, this type of knife with a Wharncliffe blade. You know, I'd love to see an XL pyrite Wharncliffe with a crossbar, or a Hectare XL, right? Hectare Alt XL with the crossbar lock. I think that would be fantastic. The way they have these springs tuned in here, it's really, really solid. I put this up there. This type of spring action and opening action, I put this right up there underneath, you know, the best of them with Kaiser. This is right there. Really solid. Now, I don't know if this is adjustable in there as well. It could very well be. I don't know that for certain, though. If you know that for certain, let everyone know down in the comments. Based off this one, I guess you won't know based off this one, but they might have the adjustable tension for the crossbar lock. I'm not 100% sure on that side of things. So let's go ahead and see what kind of edge they can put on this RPM 9 here. And just to let anyone know who may be new, if the knife can cut this telephone book paper cleanly, smoothly, and nice, you know, that means it has a screaming sharp edge on it. This right here, this has a fairly good edge on it. It cut the telephone book paper with no trouble at all, meaning it has a solid edge out of the box. Good access to that crossbar lock as well. It's comfortable. It's easy to get to, easy to disengage. This is going to be a massive hit for CJRB. It's going to continue their reign of great affordable knives in 2024. So the next thing we'll do is check this lock, make sure it is not locked up nicely there. There you can see the RPM 9. You can see CJRB taking, you know, feedback. They're making the CJRB small and out of the way, close to the handle. It's not on the face of the blade, out here in the middle of the blade. I think, you know, to be honest, I'd put an emblem on the pivot, you know, and be done with it. But that being said, this looks clean. It's small. It's out of the way. It looks good. I have no problem with that. But you can tell CJRB is just really taking feedback, and they are putting it back into their knives, which is awesome to see. Good. Very good. Very good. That is exactly what we want to see. Now, as far as other versions and all that, I have no clue on. I'm going to assume that if there's not new versions or other versions available when this drops, there will be other versions available of the knife. G10s, micartas, stuff like that. I'm sure that they will have more once this gets off the ground, if there isn't already. I know some people dislike the laminate and some people don't mind it whatsoever. I'm on the side, so I used to not care for it a whole lot. It didn't bother me a whole lot, but it was like, it's not something I'm real interested in. Nowadays, they are able to use a laminate. Kaiser has done this recently as well. Use a laminate that looks good, it feels good, and the way that it is intertwined with the G10, it's almost seamless. It almost looks like it's just a solid piece of carbon fiber. So the transition from the laminate to the G10 is very good, and it looks good. I can still, I still can see if people aren't interested in carbon fiber in general, if they're not interested in the laminate. I am almost positive that CJRB will have other models of this one available. But like I said, I have no problem with what they're doing now, especially at $50 or under. Like I said, Kaiser has done it recently, and I think there's another company I'm not thinking of, but CJRB as well, I think doing a good job. I think it looks good, and I think this is going to do extremely well for CJRB. This is a good size and a great blade shape for EDC. You'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments. Love hearing from you and what you think of these new knives. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everyone. If you're new here, we release knife and EDC content every single day. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. I'd love to have you here. I'll put up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.